Hello and welcome to this Red Gaming Tech video of myself and Marta. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Thank you so much for your support. I do run the channel alongside Paul. He is off having some well-earned time off today, so let's get stuck right into the news. And our first topic is AMD Threadripper. So as I'm sure you're aware, if you keep your ears to the ground for all things Ryzen, all things AMD, you'll know that Threadripper 5000, aka Chagall, which is its code name, has been mysteriously absent. There has been a lot of rumours, a lot of leaks, a lot of rumblings across the internet, but nothing official yet from AMD. It's not included any roadmaps that have surfaced over the past few months, but understandably there has been quite a lot of leaks and chatter regarding Chagall, especially considering that AMD saw quite a bit of success with their previous iterations of Threadripper. So, this new information today is thanks to mopc.net, and their article I should say, was helpfully shared by videocards.com, so you'll of course find them both linked below. So, according to MoPC, we are going to be seeing Threadripper 5000, again codenamed Chagall, launch in August, but no actual launch date. So they just said August, and that's kind of where they left it. However, they did have a fair amount to say when it comes to the specifications of Threadripper 5000. And they are claiming that according to what they're hearing, there will be no changes to the number of cores on the Threadripper 5000 series. Now, just to refresh your memory, because it has been a little while since we saw Ryzen Threadripper 3000 series, that was 64 cores and 128 threads. So, basically what MoPC is saying is that we will see that maximum core count again. Now, just across the stack, we did see 24 cores, 48 threads, 32, 64, and then again 64, 128. However, they did, of course, state that we would be seeing the architecture changed to Zen 3. Now, as I'm sure you'll agree, this in itself is pretty damn significant. So, of course, core count, all of that is crucial. It's really important, but obviously architectural changes are really significant too. And Zen 3, of course, brought a lot to the table, and obviously brought some impressive gaming performance and workload performance to go alongside those architectural changes. So it'd be really interesting to see Chagall versus the old generation of Threadripper in the same benchmarks, just to see the raw difference at that extremely high core count thanks to the architectural changes of Zen 3. In terms of changes that we would see brought to the table, however, for Threadripper 5000, Chagall is apparently going to be seeing increased interchip global memory interconnect, speed increase from 16 GTS to 18 GTS, similarly to the EPYC 703 series, which of course is better known as Milan. That's not exactly a surprise, of course, given that, Milan is also based on the Zen 3 microarchitecture. That should not really come much of a shock to anyone. However, apparently we're not going to be seeing any change in TDP. We're still going to be seeing them cap out at 280 watts, according to MoPC's information. And again, that remaining core count will still change the same, no change in the fabrication node. And a nice thing, actually, Chagall is likely to support the TRX40 motherboards, which would actually be quite nice. Now, if anything, we should always wait for the official announcement, whatever, from AMD. They, again, have been weirdly silent when it comes to all things Threadripper, but hopefully we will get some official communication soon regarding Chagall. But safe to say, it is looking pretty damn impressive. I am so excited to see how Threadripper continues to do, because in the HEDT market, that's actually really hard to say, they have just been crushing it with Threadripper, and Intel has not really been able to compete from everything that I have seen. So it's going to be curious to see if that continues, and again, like I said earlier, that raw increase thanks to Zen 3 versus the previous generation of Threadripper. But enough of AMD, we're going to move over to their competitors over at Intel, as we have some great news for Alder Lake and Raptor Lake. So Intel have actually submitted a SATA compliance information on upcoming PCHs to the SATA I/O organization, and the filing covers device IDs for Alder Lake and Raptor Lake PCH series. And while there's a fair amount to actually look at on the actual listing, it pretty much confirms that the 600 series chipsets will support both Alder Lake and Raptor Lake series processors. However, compatibility with the chipset doesn't necessarily automatically mean you can just drop in any Raptor Lake CPU with any Intel series motherboard. There are obviously other considerations, but Intel have hinted in the past that we would see Alder Lake and Raptor Lake share the same PCB, and both series are to share the same LGA 1700 socket, and are of course expected to share both PCIe Gen 5 and DDR5 tech. So obviously, again, we should wait for Intel to officially confirm exactly what's going on with Raptor Lake and compatibility and yada yada yada. But it does seem, at least when it comes to the raw chipset, they do share the compatibility, at least according to this particular filing, with the SATA I/O. But once again, it doesn't automatically mean it dropping compatibility of any Raptor Lake CPU with any Intel series motherboard, 600 series, sorry, just to be clear. Once again, we should wait for clarification on that, but still, it looks like promising. Let's just say it looks promising for now on this one. So before we move on to our final topic, just want to cover some really interesting gaming news which literally just popped up. Now, this is regarding the Bloodborne long-rumoured PS5 and PC re-release, but I just want to say before I go any further, this rumour is from 4chan, so please, heaping piles of salt for this one, guys. Now, again, we have heard the Bloodborne rumours multiple times from more reliable sources than 4chan, but I do just want to stress that this particular one is from there. So, take it for what it's worth. So, according to the information in this particular post, we're going to be seeing the re-release, which is going to be named Bloodborne Endless Nocturne, announced for PC and PlayStation 5 this September during a State of Play, and we're going to be seeing the release come in November of 2021. Now, obviously, this is going to be a port of the PS4 game, and apparently it's being handled by a quote-unquote small team over at From Software, and apparently it's going to be targeting 4K 60 FPS on console, and an uncapped frame rate on PC with resolutions up to 4K. And they stressed that there may be some, quote, minor texture upgrades, but it is a port. Now, my biggest issues with this particular rumour is the fact that it's going to run at a quote-unquote uncapped frame rate on PC. Now, you may recall that there is a mod for the game to run at 60 FPS on PS4 Pro done by the modder Lance McDonald's. And thanks to that, we know that the game logic is actually tied to the frame rate. Now, FromSoft loves to do this. I'm sure you guys remember when Dark Souls 2 first came out, there was an issue with the weapons breaking way too fast on PC because it was tied to the frame rate for some reason, and that had to be fixed. So I just don't buy that it's going to have an unlocked frame rate. It being up to 60 is obviously possible because it's been done by a modder, but unlocked, I don't know. I'm kind of raising my eyebrow on that one, but again, this is from 4chan, but I just wanted to include it in this video because, well, Bloodborne PC release is the dream, and yes, I do have my copium canister here at the ready. So we're going to finish up today's proceedings with a really interesting one. Now, we all know that miners over the last few months have been snapping up every graphics card that isn't nailed down to basically mine with the insane crypto mining boom that we saw over the last few months, which of course we now know is coming down, but that's a different topic for another day. What has happened is that the Ukrainian security service discovered an underground crypto farm with 3,800 PlayStation 4 consoles. 3,800, which is pretty crazy when you think about it. This was a large illegal cryptocurrency farm which was shut down by the SSU, and the consoles were not the only thing they discovered. Again, 3,800 game consoles, 500 video cards, 50 processors, draft documentation on electricity consumption, as well as a bunch of original, not original stuff, like miscellaneous like notebooks, documents, and whatnot. This just kind of blew my mind that they had PS4s set up in order to do mining, but then again, according to Tom's Hardware, even things like the Game Boy and the Commodore could be modded to mine Bitcoin, so I suppose anything is possible. Just thought I would end this video on a really interesting note, because this is, it's something, I think it's fair to say. You know, in theory, the PS4 Pro could actually be fairly reasonable for Ethereum mining, but I wouldn't recommend trying to do that with your PlayStation 4, personally. I just thought this was amusing and very strange, and thought I would share it all with you guys and perhaps brighten up your Saturday. Hope you're having a good one, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Paul should be back tomorrow or Monday, depending on what's going on tomorrow with our projects and stuff. We have got a lot on right now. So if you enjoyed this video, do click the subscribe button. It does help out a great deal, and the like button as well if you would be so kind. And I'll see you next time. Bye bye.